it's funny you said that about Jay and Lee, because Jay and Lee Haney are very successful outside of bodybuilding, like outside of the stage. And John, you're also very successful in all your businesses, and you have that same quality. I've seen you talking to various people, and you always take time out to talk to whoever. And is that the recipe for success?
I think well, first of all, I think not everyone is going to be a successful business person, because that's just not some people's personalities.
Yeah.
I think everyone has to be able to identify their strong points and run with them, and or not be afraid certainly to develop other parts of themselves. But I think you have to realize, I mean, not everyone is going to be a Jay Cutler. And in so many, in everything that entails, that obviously entails a lot of things. You have to recognize your own strengths and play to them. And I don't know. I think Jay being a good bodybuilder was Jay being himself. Jay being a good businessman is Jay being himself.
I see what you're saying. You know what's funny?
He's just being himself.
I'll come back to you about this in a second, John, but I just want to touch on something, because you said it. I read one of your posts, Evan, that you put up I don't know, it was like 2 days ago now, about just being yourself. It was very it was very to the point. It wasn't long, but it was like, stop trying to be somebody else and just do what you do best.
I think a lot of people fail to ask themselves. I mean, a lot of people will chase, maybe they will see a bodybuilder and whatever it is, and they say, "Ooh, I like that." Whether it's what it represents visually, aesthetically, or maybe what it is that they think is going to come along with it, some kind of money or fame or notoriety, whatever it is. And they say, well, I want that stuff for myself. But they might not even like bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Like, you might not be a bodybuilder.
But is it really, okay, I'm all for being yourself, right? Like, my whole thing is like, real shit, be real, don't fake, I 100% agree with you. But at the same time, there's two questions that come from that. One, how do you learn what yourself really is? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of hard to know who you are sometimes and what is your best qualities. And number two, I don't know if there's anything wrong with looking at someone and going, I like the way that person carries themselves. Maybe I should try it. Like, for example, the way when I met John, I was like, you know what? That looks a lot easier than what I'm fucking doing. So I'm fucking swimming up fucking stream, and this guy's figured it out. So I don't know if there's anything wrong with watching and learning.
No, certainly not. Certainly not. But I think that I think a lot of times people will have things that they're good at.
Yeah.
And maybe they were told that it's not valuable. Maybe they're good with their hands. And they had everybody saying, well, yeah, but you don't want to get your hands dirty in life, so go to school and do this or that.
I see.
I think everyone should, I don't know, you have to have curiosity, I would think, about things, and that curiosity brings you to leads you to find answers, and maybe in finding answers, you find yourself having to make something, or I don't know.
How do you feel about it, John? How do you feel about the whole be yourself and learn from others still? Like, where's the dynamic? Where is it copying somebody and learning from that person for the wrong reason? And where is it making yourself a better person?
Oh, well, there's two things that came to my mind when you said that. One of the things that popped into my mind was the old Maslow's hierarchy. Remember that triangle? And on the bottom of the hierarchy of needs, you had like food, shelter, clothing. You remember what was at the very top? It was self-actualization. That's like when you're at your peak, like, you couldn't be any better. And that's, his philosophy was that's when you're helping other people and things like that. But you have to in some way figure out what that is for you. So what is self-actualization for you? Like Evan said, you may enjoy working with your hands or doing something like that you may love that. So when all these people are telling you that's a waste of time, then that's bad advice from them, in my opinion, because the goal is to get to the top of that hierarchy. So that pyramid, right? So so how do you know what it is? Well, you got to try different things. A lot of people are really good about they talk a good game, but they don't actually do anything. So you got to try different things. And the other thing that popped into my mind was, in terms of looking up to people, You can absolutely be successful being a con artist. It's proven in our industry. There's coaches, there's supplement owners that are straight con artists.
Yeah.
They have a great blueprint for pulling wool over people's eyes.
Yep.
And so, I mean, you can succeed like that, but I always thought I'd rather just be myself so that I never have to really think twice about, well, what did I tell that person? What did I tell that person? Or, you know, do I have to go change this story, or, you know, or, you know, maybe I can screw this person over and nobody will know. You know, I just thought, you know what, man, I would have more respect for someone who's just a jerk and just made no bones about it. This is who I am, as opposed to somebody who's kind of a fake. So, I mean, I would say that if you're going to pick somebody to emulate, just be real careful who you pick in our industry. Yeah. There's some really good people. And the truth is there's some people that's not so good that are successful. So just be careful who you pick. But to get back to the point of that self-actualization, I mean, that's kind of the key if you want to get to your, I guess, most happy part of your life. So you got to try different things. You know, what is it that you want to, you know, Alexander, he went through a phase where he's playing the piano, he's playing the guitar, he plays football, he plays basketball. He started yo-yoing. I don't know if you saw him yo-yoing on that one video.
Alexander's John's son, for those of you who don't know.
Yeah, sorry, he's my oldest boy. I have 2 11-year-olds. So he's getting lessons from the world national yo-yo champion, actually. And he can do all kinds of crazy. Well, yesterday he comes in, he goes, "Dad, I want to be a skateboarder." Like, what? Yeah. But I'm not going to discourage him, though. I want him to try everything he can. If he comes tomorrow and he says, "I want to, you know, do something else," I'm going to encourage him. I want him to try different things. And at some point, he's going to figure out what is it I like, what is it I don't like. And that's a little kid. But I think that same mentality of people, and try different things, see what it is that you like.
I think it's funny. I wanted to just touch on a couple things. So Evan said something about you have to make sure you're emulating people for the right reason, or he said something along those lines. So kind of like, are you looking at that person because you want all the money he has? Are you looking at that person because you want all the fame he has? Or I think on a better side, are you looking at that person because his growth as a person is greater than yours, and you'd like to grow as a person as well? I think there's different ways to emulate someone. Like I kind of can think of who you're talking about, John. So if you see somebody who's really, really wealthy and really well off, but they kind of did it in a shitty way, you might look to them and think, I want to be rich like that guy, but you're not really learning anything about yourself. Whereas if you look at somebody like a Lee Haney or a Jay Cutler, or even yourself, John or Evan, and the way you carry yourself, you might say, oh, okay, there's a different way to carry myself that might make me grow as a person and mature more. So it's kind of like, I think what I'm gathering from it is a lot of it is, what are you really emulating? Are you emulating being a better person? Or are you emulating just wanting the thing, like the fame or the money or the intangible that's really not that important?
I think a lot of it is people's failure to actually know themselves.
Yeah.
Like, you have to know yourself. And I, you know, I mean, I'm still in a process of fully discovering myself, so to speak. But so many people, especially now more than ever with the prevalence of social media, I think people are just so influenced in terms of what's being presented to them as what's acceptable, what's cool, what's fashionable. And I think a lot of times people, they see what's popular, and like, take, for example, certain clothing trends, right? Okay, skinny jeans, right? Mm-hmm. Now,
I own a pair. Be careful. I own a few pairs.
What I was going to say is...
Go ahead. It's okay.
What I was going to say is I see him on some guys and I say, yeah, you know, that he pulls them off. Like, they look pretty good on him.
Yeah.
But not everybody can wear them, right? Yeah. So some guy, he might have a funny body, mm-hmm. and he's going to wear skinny jeans and they're going to look terrible and they're going to look incredibly unflattering on him. Yeah. But he's going to do it because in his mind, that's the style. And he's going to wear them with some like goofy retro 90s sneakers. And the reality is it's going to do nothing to help his appearance, but he's going to do it simply because it's a trend. And in his mind, he goes, well, this is what's popular, so it has to be good. And he doesn't even actually have a fucking opinion.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Meaning, how do I feel about it? Like,
but what if you like the skinny jeans and you have a goofy body?
If you like it, and you look at yourself and you say, I like the way this makes me look, and I feel good about it, and it makes sense in your mind, fucking have at it. Absolutely. But I think a lot of people don't even ask themselves. They will look at what is popular or what's being presented to them as being cool or this or that, and they don't even ask themselves, what do I like?
Yeah.
Or do I really want this? Like, but I know everyone else wants it, but do I even give a fuck about it? And I think a lot of people don't even ask. They're not even that in touch with themselves to ask themselves that question or know the answer.
Okay, I like what you're saying, but I'm gonna counterpoint it with, what if you like bell bottoms and you look like a jackass?
Well, I could say, what if you like skinny jeans and you look like a jackass? Just because they're in fashion, it doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, but if you're
wearing that trend is going to be gone in a year.
But if you're wearing bell bottoms, then you just seem like you're lost. Like you have no idea what you kind of got to move with the trends a little bit, no?
Well, nothing says you have to do anything.
Why are you laughing, John? What John's going to kick out of this?
Because what you're pointing out is relative to our industry, and it's delusion. Like if you think you look good in bell bottoms, it's delusion. And you can just say, and there's a lot of delusional people are in.
So how do you relate that to bodybuilding? What are we doing in bodybuilding?
Okay, but we went from skinny jeans to bell bottoms, and you know what both of them are?
What, ridiculous?
Trends.
Yeah, that's true.
They're just trends. Neither one of them are sustaining styles. They're just trends.
But I know, but what I'm saying is I'm just being a dick, but so you're saying be yourself, right? Do what you love. So what I'm saying is, if I'm the kind of guy that loves wearing bell bottoms, can I go to the mall and wear bell bottoms and not get laughed at?
Well, who cares? No, somebody's laughing at you.
You're going to get laughed at, of course.
Okay. Okay, so what we're saying is be yourself, regardless of whether people laugh at you or not.
Think of all the videos where I had a tank top over top of a t-shirt, and when I wore sandals with socks.
Yeah.
Right? I just didn't care what people said.
That's true. You know what? There is an element of, I have to be honest, as somebody who maybe I care too much about what people think, there is an element of envy when you see somebody wearing a pair of bell bottoms even, and they don't give a fuck. They don't care. They're like, I like this shit. I don't care if you don't like it. I don't give a shit. I actually feel like there's people kind of gravitate to that person.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
I love that.
That person's like, they're so true to themselves that you can't really look at them in a negative way. Does that make sense?
Oh, I love that. I love that. I mean, that's a great place to be when you're happy, confident. Like it's really dumb when you think about it to let everybody else's opinions dictate. I mean, if you have a business and you're getting consumer research done on what to sell, that's one thing.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But when your happiness is dictated, like if my happiness was dictated on YouTube comments, imagine how I would feel, you know? I mean,
we would both be done. We'd just be done.
Yeah, you'd be depressed all the time. Oh, this guy says I'm ugly.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, just if something is in style or this is a trend, just ask yourself first if you actually like it, rather than just accept it just because it's in fashion. That's all I'm saying.
No, and I agree with you. I'm just
have your own opinion, and I think ultimately at least what I would strive for is, whether it's in something I wear, or if I was a supplement company, or an automobile designer, whatever it was, I would want to always try to produce something timeless.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, good nutrition 20 years ago is no different than good nutrition now. It won't be any different than good nutrition 20 years from now.
Yeah.
Same thing with a nicely tailored suit with the right material.
Mm-hmm.
It will look great 50 years in the past, and it'll look great 50 years in the future. So I think avoiding trends. I don't know how we got here, but I just fucking hate trends.
We got here actually on a really important point. I think is actually very deep and I don't know if we're deep enough to explore it. But,
being yourself.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So we got here by talking about being yourself.
Don't succumb to trends.
And I agree with you. The only tough thing I feel like is hard. Maybe if you're 40, like I'm 41 now. Evan, I'm not sure how old you are.
37.
37. John,
you're old.
I know. Sorry, dude. John, you're 45, 47. I can't remember.
47.
Okay. So anyway, the point is, when you get a little bit older, it's easier to you've kind of figured out who you are. What I'm talking about is somebody who's 20 years old or 25 years old that's listening to this. I feel like it's hard to figure out who you are. You might go to the gym because you hang out with 4 guys and they go to the gym, but you may actually hate it. Like, I've seen that scenario. I used to run with a group of guys who, like, there's a couple guys that hated going to the gym, but they would go because all of us were going. And I think saying be yourself is a great point, but it's sometimes harder to figure out. It's easier said than done, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
And when you're younger, you don't have to be in a rush to figure it all out overnight, right?
Yeah.
Take your time, try different things, and you don't have to figure out everything overnight.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and like the video. And if you get a chance, check out the description for all the different links to all the different places you can find Hostile and myself. And lastly, check out hostile.com for our new line of supplements and all of our apparel and gear. Thanks again for watching.